Ladies and gentlemen of the Galactic Council, this concludes my presentation on the newly discovered Class 10 Deathworld in the Andromeda Galaxy. Are there any questions? The holographic projector shut down, leaving the alien diplomat, Xorthrax, standing alone in the center of the grand amphitheater. His tendrils quivered anxiously as he waited for the Council's reaction. A murmur of conversation filled the room, occasionally interrupted by gasps and exclamations in various alien languages. Finally, a tall, slender being with shimmering, iridescent skin rose from its seat. Its antennae quivered with excitement. "Fascinating presentation, Ambassador Thrax," the alien said, its voice a melodious trill. "But I must ask, how certain are we that this world truly exists? It seems almost too terrifying to be real." Xorthrax's eye stalks turned towards the speaker, confusion spreading across his gelatinous face. "I'm sorry, Counselor Voss, but I'm not sure I understand. What does Australia have to do with my presentation on -923 Zambian Kwacha?" Another council member, a reptilian being with scales that glistened like oil on water, leaned forward. "I believe Counselor Voss is suggesting that your description of -923 Zambian Kwacha bears a striking resemblance to a region on a planet called Earth, a planet we've been avoiding for millennia." Xorthrax blinked all 7 of his eyes rapidly. "Earth? You mean that insignificant little blue planet in the unfashionable western spiral arm of the Milky Way? The one with the bipedal apes sending radio signals into space, asking if anyone's out there?" A round of nervous laughter rippled through the chamber. "Oh, they're out there, all right," muttered a grizzled old alien from the back, his voice gravelly. "And if they ever figure out faster-than-light travel, we're all doomed." Xorthrax's confusion deepened. "I don't understand. Are you saying that Earth is dangerous?" The chamber fell silent, a silence so profound it seemed to shout. Then, from the shadows at the far end of the room, a figure emerged. It was tall and bipedal, with a mop of unruly hair atop its head and a grin that seemed a bit too wide for comfort. "Dangerous?" The figure chuckled, its voice sending shivers down the spines of every being in the room. "Oh, dear Thrax, you have no idea." The council members gasped collectively, some retreating a few steps. Xorthrax, however, stood his ground, more out of sheer fear than bravery. "Who are you?" he stammered. The figure stepped into the light, revealing a being that resembled the humans Xorthrax had seen in intercepted Earth broadcasts, though there was something unsettling about this one. Its eyes gleamed with a predatory intelligence. "I'm Dave," the human said casually, leaning against the holographic projector. "I'm the Galactic Council's resident expert on Earth, and let me tell you, that Class 10 Deathworld you described is a walk in the park compared to where I come from." Xorthrax's tendrils curled defensively. "But that's impossible. -923 Zambian Kwacha has acid rain, carnivorous plants that devour entire herds, and atmospheric toxins that can melt your lungs." Dave threw his head back and laughed, a sound that made several council members flinch. "Oh, you sweet summer child. Let me tell you about a little place called Australia." For the next hour, Dave regaled the council with tales so outrageous they seemed almost unbelievable. He spoke of a continent where every creature, from the tiniest insect to the largest mammal, seemed designed with the sole purpose of ending life. He described beaches where invisible jellyfish could kill with a touch, forests where drop bears lurked, and deserts where the very sun was an enemy. "And don't even get me started on the plants," Dave said, wiping a tear of mirth from his eye. "We've got trees that'll make you wish for those carnivorous ones on -923 Zambian Kwacha. Ever heard of the Gimpy? One touch, and you'll be in agony for months. Some poor souls have even ended their lives just to escape the pain." The council chamber had grown deathly quiet, save for the occasional whimper or sound of someone fainting. "But how do you survive?" Xorthrax asked, his voice barely a whisper. Dave's grin widened. "If that was even possible." "Survive? Oh, mate, we don't just survive, we thrive. You see, what you don't understand is that humans, well, we're a special kind of crazy. Where you see danger, we see a challenge. Where you see certain death, we see an opportunity for an extreme sport. He pulled out a small device from his pocket, an old Earth smartphone. With a few taps, Dave projected an image onto the screen where Xor Thrax's presentation had been moments before. "See this?" Dave said, pointing to an image of a human riding a wild creature. The image on the screen flickered as Dave swiped through a series of photos, each one more astonishing than the last. The council members stared in a mixture of horror and fascination at the images of humans engaging in seemingly suicidal activities. "Here's a group of humans wrestling a giant sea creature in the Australian Ocean," Dave said, pointing to a picture of a group of people grappling with what looked like an enormous, writhing tentacle. "And here's one of them climbing an active volcano just to get a better view of the lava flows." Xor Thrax's tendrils coiled tightly. "This is insane. Are you suggesting that humans actively seek out these dangers? That you thrive on this madness?" Dave's grin remained unchanged, though a glimmer of pride danced in his eyes. "You bet. It's all about pushing the limits. We have a saying back on Earth. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And believe me, we got plenty of things that could kill you, but we don't let that stop us." A member of the council, a stout, beetle-like creature with multifaceted eyes, spoke up. "But surely you must have some form of regulation or safety measures in place. You can't just let everyone run headlong into peril without precautions." Dave chuckled. "Regulations? Sure, we have those mostly to keep people from getting too reckless. But the real thrill is in breaking the rules. We have something called extreme sports, where the point is to face danger head-on. Think of it as a sport where surviving is the prize." Xor Thrax's confusion only deepened. "I still don't understand. What drives your people to such extremes? Surely there's a point where you stop and think, this is too dangerous." Dave's expression grew serious for a moment. "It's not about being reckless for the sake of it. It's about testing ourselves, seeing what we're capable of. It's about finding meaning in the challenge. For some, it's about the adrenaline. For others, it's about proving something to themselves or to the world." Counselor Voss leaned forward, his antennae twitching. "I must admit, this is beyond anything we've encountered before. It's one thing to hear of a dangerous world, but to see that there are beings who embrace it so eagerly, it's both incredible and terrifying." Dave nodded. "It is, isn't it? But it's also part of what makes humanity unique. We got a saying about our species. We're stubbornly resilient and recklessly curious. And that curiosity is what leads us to explore, to push boundaries, and to sometimes make a mess of things." The council chamber was silent for a moment, the members processing this new, bizarre information. Xor Thrax finally spoke up, his tone contemplative. "Given what we've learned, do you think it would be wise for us to reevaluate our stance on Earth? If your planet has creatures and environments as dangerous as you describe, it might pose a threat to us if we were to attempt any form of contact." Dave's eyes narrowed slightly. "That's a fair point. But it's also important to remember that not every part of Earth is like Australia. There are countless places that are safe and hospitable. Earth is a diverse world, and while it does have its extremes, it also has its wonders." Counselor Voss raised a hand. "Perhaps it would be prudent for us to consider a more measured approach. We could investigate specific regions rather than assuming the entire planet is uniformly hazardous." Dave nodded. "I'd be more than happy to assist with that. I know Earth like the back of my hand, and I can help guide you to areas that are less adventurous. It might be worth noting that not all of us are thrill seekers. Many humans prefer a quieter existence." The council members exchanged glances, the tension in the room slowly dissipating. The bizarre and alarming revelations had given way to a cautious curiosity about Earth and its inhabitants. Xor Thrax sighed, his tendrils unfurling as he relaxed slightly. "Very well, Ambassador Dave. We will consider your advice and proceed with a more informed approach. Your insights have been eye-opening." Dave smiled warmly. "I'm glad I could shed some light on our world. And remember, while Earth might seem like a dangerous place, it's also a place of incredible beauty and diversity. It's worth exploring with the right guidance." As the council session adjourned, the members began to disperse, their minds buzzing with new thoughts about the enigmatic planet Earth. Dave lingered for a moment, taking in the array of alien species and the diverse range of reactions to his stories. Thrax approached him. "Thank you for the insight, Dave. It seems Earth is far more complex than we imagined. We'll need to reconsider our strategies and perhaps initiate a more nuanced approach to our interactions." Dave nodded. "I'm looking forward to it. Earth has its challenges, but it also has its rewards. And who knows, maybe one day you'll get to see it firsthand." As the chamber emptied, Dave took one last look at the grand amphitheater, feeling a sense of satisfaction. His role as the Galactic Council's expert on Earth was far from over, and he was ready for whatever came next. The Galactic Council's grand amphitheater was eerily quiet as the members filtered out, their minds still reeling from Dave's astonishing revelations about Earth. Thrax lingered at the edge of the chamber, deep in thought. The unexpected twist in the Council's perspective had set the stage for new decisions about their approach to Earth. Outside the amphitheater, the Council corridors were bustling with activity. A delegation of Council members, including Thrax, gathered in a secure conference room. The room was spherical, with holographic displays lining the walls and a central table that projected a 3D map of the Andromeda Galaxy. Thrax took a seat at the head of the table, his tendrils flicking nervously. "We need to reassess our strategy regarding Earth. If Dave's information is accurate, we must proceed with caution." Counselor Voss, the tall being with iridescent skin, nodded. "Agreed. If Earth truly harbors such dangerous environments, we must be prepared for all possibilities. We can't afford to underestimate their potential for threat." The reptilian council member with shimmering scales, known as Raxel, leaned forward. "I propose we establish a specialized team to conduct preliminary investigations. They would be tasked with identifying specific regions of interest and assessing their safety before any formal contact is made." Thrax tapped a control on the table, bringing up a detailed image of Earth. "We should consider not only the dangerous regions Dave described, but also areas of scientific interest. Earth's biodiversity alone is worth studying, even if some parts are perilous." The discussion continued, strategies and contingencies being mapped out, when an unexpected alert flashed on one of the holographic screens. A red notification indicated an urgent communication from the Galactic Intelligence Division. A representative from the division, a sleek, cybernetic being named Elara, entered the room. "Apologies for the interruption, but we have received troubling news. A covert Earth operative has infiltrated our communications network." The council members exchanged concerned glances. Thrax's tendrils stiffened. "An Earth operative? How is that possible?" Elara's digital eyes flickered with intensity. "We're not entirely sure, but our security algorithms detected unauthorized access points tracing back to a transmission originating from Earth. It appears this operative has managed to bypass our defenses and is gathering sensitive information." Counselor Voss's antennae twitched. "What kind of information could they be after?" "That's not clear yet," Elara replied. "But it's critical that we locate this operative and neutralize the threat before any further breaches occur." Thrax's mind raced. "If Earth has operatives capable of infiltrating our networks, this could complicate our plans significantly. We need to find and deal with this threat immediately." Elara nodded. "We have already deployed a containment unit to trace the operative signal. It's crucial we act swiftly to prevent any further data leaks." As the discussion turned to strategies for handling the intrusion, the chamber's door slid open, and a new figure entered. It was Dave, looking unusually serious. His casual demeanor was replaced by an air of urgency. "Apologies for the intrusion," Dave said, stepping into the room. "I overheard the briefing. I might be able to help with your problem." Thrax regarded him with a mixture of suspicion and curiosity. "And how exactly do you propose to assist us, Ambassador?" Dave glanced at the holographic map of Earth, his expression thoughtful. "From what I know about Earth's covert operations, this isn't just a random operative. They're likely part of a broader intelligence network. If they're able to infiltrate our systems, they may have connections to some very sophisticated technology and techniques." Counselor Voss's eyes widened. "You mean you have experience with Earth operatives?" Dave nodded. "More than you might think. Earth has a variety of organizations with espionage capabilities. I can provide insights into their methods and help you track down this operative. Elora's cybernetic eyes flickered with interest. If you can assist us in identifying and neutralizing the threat, it would be greatly appreciated. We need to act quickly. Dave nodded firmly. Let's start by analyzing the intrusion data. I might be able to spot patterns or techniques that could give us clues about the operative's identity and location. The council members and Elora shifted their focus to the holographic displays as Dave began analyzing the data. His fingers danced over the controls, his expression intense as he sifted through the information. Hours passed as Dave, Elora, and the council members worked together, piecing together the puzzle of the intrusion. Dave's familiarity with Earth's covert operations proved invaluable, revealing clues about the operative's methods and potential objectives. Finally, Dave leaned back, his face showing a mix of relief and concern. I've identified a pattern in the data that points to a likely location for the operative's base of operations. It's in a remote region on Earth, known for its isolation and harsh environment. Xorthrax's tendrils twitched with renewed determination. Then we have a target. We need to dispatch a team to investigate and neutralize this threat. Elora nodded. I will coordinate the deployment of a specialized unit. We'll need to move quickly to prevent any further breaches. As the council meeting adjourned, Xorthrax, Dave, and Elora prepared to execute their plan. The intrusion had highlighted a new layer of complexity in their dealings with Earth, but with their combined expertise, they were ready to face the challenges ahead. Dave's role as the Galactic Council's Earth expert had taken on a new dimension. The stakes were higher, and the risks more pronounced, but he was determined to help navigate this precarious situation. With the operative's location pinpointed and the Council's response in motion, the next steps in the unfolding drama were set into motion. The remote, icy expanse of Earth's Antarctic region was an unlikely setting for covert operations, but it had become the epicenter of a clandestine mission. A sleek, stealth spacecraft, cloaked and almost invisible against the frigid landscape, hovered above an isolated outpost nestled within the ice fields. Inside the spacecraft, a team of elite operatives from the Galactic Council's intelligence division prepared for their mission. Their leader, Captain Elara, a tall, imposing figure with metallic exoskeleton enhancements, addressed her team as they suited up in their advanced environmental gear. Listen up. Captain Elara's voice was firm and commanding. Our objective is to locate and neutralize the Earth operative responsible for the breach in our systems. We've pinpointed their base to this location. Approach with extreme caution. We don't know what kind of defenses they might have in place. Among the operatives was Dave, who had insisted on joining the mission. His casual demeanor was replaced by a serious focus as he reviewed the mission data on a holographic tablet. The operative's base is hidden within a series of underground tunnels, Dave explained. It's heavily fortified and equipped with advanced Earth technology. We'll need to be prepared for both physical and electronic security measures. The team nodded, their expressions serious as they prepared to disembark. The spacecraft's ramp lowered, revealing the icy landscape bathed in the soft glow of the spacecraft's lights. The team moved out, their breaths visible in the freezing air as they made their way towards the coordinates. After several hours of trekking through the ice and snow, they arrived at the entrance to the subterranean base, a heavily camouflaged hatch partially buried in the ice. Captain Elara's team approached cautiously, scanning for traps or alarms. Dave examined the hatch closely, his knowledge of Earth technology proving invaluable. This hatch is rigged with a sophisticated locking mechanism, Dave said, examining the controls. It's designed to be nearly impossible to open without the correct access codes. Captain Elara nodded. Can you bypass it? Dave smirked. I might be able to. Give me a moment. He worked swiftly, using a small device to interface with the hatch's control panel. His fingers moved with practiced ease, and after a few tense moments, a soft beep signaled success. The hatch creaked open, revealing a dark, narrow tunnel descending into the depths. The team descended into the tunnel, their steps echoing through the cold, metal corridors. The air grew warmer as they moved deeper, and the hum of machinery became more pronounced. Dave led the way, guiding them through the labyrinthine passages. As they reached a junction, Dave halted and held up a hand. The operative's base should be just ahead. We need to be ready for anything. Captain Elara signaled her team to spread out and prepare for entry. With a nod from Dave, they approached a reinforced door at the end of the corridor. The door was heavily fortified, with an array of sensors and security cameras monitoring the area. Dave examined the door's security system. This is the main entrance. The operative will likely be inside. We need to get through without triggering any alarms. With precise movements, Dave deactivated the security sensors and hacked into the door's control system. The door slid open with a hiss, revealing the interior of the base, a high-tech command center filled with monitors, servers, and advanced communication equipment. Inside, an Earth operative, clad in a dark, stealth suit, was hunched over a console, seemingly absorbed in the task at hand. The operative's head snapped up as the team entered, and a look of surprise crossed their face. "Freeze!" Captain Elara commanded as the team leveled their weapons at the operative. The operative, realizing escape was unlikely, swiftly reached for a concealed weapon. But before they could react, Dave stepped forward and threw a small device that emitted a pulse, disrupting the operative systems and rendering their weapon useless. "Dave," the operative said, their voice laced with shock. "You're supposed to be in orbit." Dave's eyes narrowed. "I came to stop you from causing more damage. You've been busy infiltrating our systems." The operative's expression hardened. "You don't understand what's at stake here. We're trying to protect Earth from potential threats, including your council." Captain Elara stepped forward, her tone unwavering. "Your actions put many lives at risk. You're going to answer for your breach of our systems." The operative's eyes shifted between Dave and the other team members. "There's more you don't know. We were trying to uncover something much larger, something that could endanger not just Earth, but the entire galaxy." Dave's expression softened slightly. "What are you talking about?" The operative hesitated, then said, "There's a threat that's been hidden from the public, a rogue faction on Earth with technology capable of devastating entire planets. We were trying to gather evidence and prevent them from using it." Captain Elara's eyes narrowed. "If that's true, then we need to reassess our approach. But your methods were reckless and jeopardized our security." Dave nodded in agreement. "We need to work together to address this threat. But first, we need to secure this base and ensure no further data breaches occur." The team moved quickly to secure the base and retrieve any relevant data. As they worked, Dave and the operative exchanged information, uncovering fragments of a larger conspiracy that threatened both Earth and the galaxy. By the end of the operation, the base was secured, and the operative was taken into custody. The team returned to the spacecraft, their mission a success, but with new questions and concerns about the implications of their findings. As the spacecraft ascended from the icy surface, Dave reflected on the events. The operative's revelations had added a new layer of complexity to their dealings with Earth. What had started as a straightforward investigation had revealed a deeper and more dangerous situation. Captain Elara approached Dave as they flew back to the Galactic Council. "We've accomplished our immediate goal, but there's much more to unravel. We'll need to report these findings and prepare for further action." Dave nodded. "I agree. There's a lot more at stake here. We need to be prepared for whatever comes next." The spacecraft continued its journey, heading back to the Council's headquarters. As they approached, the enormity of the situation began to sink in. The threat was far from over, and the next steps would be crucial in addressing the danger that loomed on the horizon.